of April. It is discounted broadband services up to $50 a month, $75 for tribal lands, and then a one-time discount for $100 for a laptop, desktop, computer, or tablet. It's limited. It has eligibility requirements, and what I'm trying to do, there is no budget to advertise this throughout the nation, so it's kind of up to us, and it's a limited fund, and it runs out when the money runs out. So it's kind of a first come, first serve, which is a little nerve wracking, but that's how I met Allison, because I read this out at a council meeting a couple weeks ago. I think it's really important to get the word out. So anybody that can use the flyers and the information lists that I just put in the chat to get the word out to whoever you think would be eligible for this or would find it useful. Like I say, this is the only way we're going to get it around. This is a perfect place to do that with such a great audience.
Okay. Cindy, if I may, real quick, does it include the modem, the device benefit?
I am not sure about that. And a lot of the rules have not been released and defined. So I got as close as I can, but some of those questions are going to have to be answered as we go along. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So
but anybody can reach out to me if they like to, and I will put my email in the chat.
If I can also mention that our statewide task force, as Cindy knows, is also addressing this issue, and we're trying to look at what kind of information do we need at the state level here in Arizona. While the federal stuff is great, that we need to have some stuff here in the state. And we're also looking at, which I'd mentioned in one of the other groups, about navigators in various groups and organizations who can help people to actually apply for that. And I should also mention again, what Cindy knows, is that there's actually another federal program that's not as time limited, which is the Federal Lifeline program that has been around for many years, that provided subsidies for phone lines, but which we all discovered, many have been involved with this for years, that it also will provide subsidies for devices, internet, and so forth. And so both of those programs are available for free or discounted resources. And so we're trying to make that information readily available, working with the state library and the Arizona Department of Education to look how we can make this available. But I think that what you guys have started here would be a good demonstration project to figure out how we do a navigator kind of thing, what resources, what are the challenges to train navigators and so forth.
Thanks, Cindy and Steve. So I'm going to launch this poll right now, and I'll talk a little bit about it. Right, this is just super quick, like who's interested really in diving into some of this, who's interested in being a champion on connections and devices, digital literacy, and then short term, right, can we kind of convene with Cindy's help? And I know I've talked to Stephanie Healy from Cox, like interested in really getting the word out to Tucson residents. And so that'll be kind of a quicker thing. But right, like if there's others that's not on here, feel free to type it in the chat. I'm just gonna keep this open for a little bit longer. You know, this is not, you're not committing to, you know, 40 hours a month of committee meetings. This is just kind of a quick, do you want to be kept in the loop about any one of these topics, and how can, you know, how can we all keep working together and just use this as the first step in HCD, really also trying to be a partner in digital inclusion. So I've got some folks viewing, some folks who are answered the question so far. We also will try to do a poll afterwards, just kind of more of an in-depth survey, you know, an opportunity to share additional information and just additional ideas that you have. And I do want to get to the do a little bit of a gallery walk. I know if folks have access to it already, you can kind of see what some of the other groups have talked about. So real quick, I'm going to end this poll. I do see Echo asked if can the notes and chat be saved. Yes, that's definitely will be some of the follow-up. I'm going to end this poll, and Cindy has her hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention also there's a new organization I stumbled on last week, or a new or reinvented organization. It's called We Care. It was the old World Care, and they have a shop at 3029 North Stone where they're selling refurbished computers. It's a really slick operation. I was in there with them last week, and so they're trying to get on everyone's radar for another outlet. I know there's Rise down on the south side, a park in 22nd that also sells discounted computers, but We Care doesn't seem to be something that comes up when I Google refurbished devices. So I just wanted to let people know that that's available. And I'll put that in the chat too.
Thanks, Cindy. So real quick, right, we have 5 minutes. I know people have to jump off. So feel free to, if there are takeaways from your group, something exciting that came up, please feel free to put it in the chat, but I'm gonna call really quickly on each group facilitator, starting with group 1, which I think was Jared or Jeremiah.
Hey, it's Jared, I'll jump in. Few topics that kind of rose to the top, tech support being such a huge element of this, that it, instead of maybe occupying the device area and the digital literacy area, it's almost its own leg on a stool, you know, just the continuing support in education throughout just navigating all of this. A lot was talked about COVID's impact on connections, people's interpersonal connections and the effect that that has and the importance of it. A better need for marketing of efforts that are already underway. A lot of people that are in need, or a lot of people that want to start providing assistance are not necessarily aware of what's already happening, you know, so hopefully we're making some strides in that today. And then in just a nice point, interesting continued talks. So keep the dialogue going.
Thanks, group 1. I'm just gonna go to the 4 slides for each group. So group 2, anything you wanna quickly share?
Yeah, we had a really lively discussion with a lot of people who, you know, shared their thoughts and stuff. And so the key takeaways for us were focusing on affordability for everyone so that equal access could be achievable, and trying to fix the sort of fractured approach that's currently being taken. So helping everyone know what's currently available and, you know, who to direct community members to be more effective and cost efficient.
Thanks, Matea. What about group 3?
I'll say happy, Albert, if you want to jump in too, but some of the takeaways that I had, particularly Pima Community College and Pima County Public Library System and all that they're doing, and really, I think particularly about the housing and community development customers, residents, and how do we make sure we're connecting them more with what is happening. And I think that we talked about some potential opportunities there that, and Albert, feel free to jump in too if you have other ideas.
That's great, Anne. Sounds great.
Group 4.
Yeah, so Vivian had to jump off a little early, so I'm gonna cover for her. In our group, we had both AmFi and TUSD represented, and they've really done a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of getting people connected to the internet and finding devices really to adapt to COVID. So a lot of the barriers to increasing access to people were just kind of logistical. You know, people lived in a lot of different places. You know, there was language barriers, there's things like that. And the overarching theme was that there needs to utilize existing entities. So don't reinvent the wheel, and access those community organizations that already exist that can help solve this problem. And really kind of a fear of having too many cooks in the kitchen. Like you have a device, you might have a provider, it might come from this organization, you might have to go to IT here. So really kind of doing a one size fits all thing would be ideal. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have for the most part. If any of you guys have anything else, feel free to jump in.
Thanks, Sam. How about group 5?
Yeah, so for our group, our key takeaways were really, just the issue with equity, including everyone in our diverse community in access and digital literacy. That's really important. And also, after the CARES funding runs out, sustaining any digital initiative that we, currently have, inviting everyone to the table, and also the tech support piece that other groups have been speaking about, providing the tech support on the other end. So if residents have issues with devices, they can readily seek assistance on that. And, just continuing that engagement, past COVID is going to be really key.
Thanks, Mick.
Yeah.
How about group 6?
Hi. So a lot of our conversation was around the senior community and meeting them where they are. So going back to the basics of using the technology that we're able to provide them, making sure that they're comfortable, turning on and off, and helping them use it for what they intend to. If it's telemedicine, social activities, being able to reach out to family. But being able to make sure that they are able to do that comfortably and safely, training them on potential fraud and whatnot as well. And then also wanted to highlight what Phoenix is doing for their communities when it comes to inclusion, and whether, for the people with disabilities, getting them the tools, the equipment that are specific to their needs, the accessibility settings on their tablets and whatnot, and just making sure that they are going to be successful with their abilities in mind.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Group 7, last but not least, any key takeaways, exciting things to share? I know if people have to hop off, I won't be offended. Sorry, go ahead, Nadia.
Yes, I'll be quick. Our group really throughout focused on how digital inclusion needs to become a basic right, acknowledged as something that is a basic right for folks today. And that's how we need to incorporate it across the board in all that we do. Thanks, everybody. Good conversation.
Thank you all. Thank you for everyone who has lasted this far with only the 30-second stretch break. The idea is that we're kind of capturing all of this information, creating some connections between people, right? I had not met Cindy before, had not talked to a lot of folks in this room. So really excited to kind of take what we gathered, use it to create an action plan for HCD and our HUD-assisted residents, but really also plug in and support additional community Tucson initiatives. So thank you all so much for your time and taking the 2 hours to participate today. We will be connecting with every single one of you again, at least with a survey and a summary of everything that we talked about. If not, hopefully a lot more really great conversations. Thank you. This was fun. Thank you to the facilitators and Rachel.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. That was great.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks,
you
Rachel.
all.
Thanks, Allison. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.